Colette on the spot. Okay, so uh, all this talk about awareness, right? Spiritual
Hmm.
teachers talk about it all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Scientists talk about awareness. Okay,
yeah,
I've talked about awareness.
yeah.
What is awareness?
Mm.
It's a word.
Yeah,
Presumably, it's referring to something.
to
It's a
something.
signifier of something. What is awareness? What is the word pointing to? What would you say?
Well, the thing is, I guess it's individual because what I think awareness might be something completely different to what you
Fair
think
enough.
awareness
Yeah.
is.
From your standpoint, your experience,
Yeah, from
what
my
is it? Yeah.
standpoint. Okay. It's it's a way of sensing. It's a very subtle sense rather than a it's a way of interpreting what's happening in a very fine way, a very subtle way of experience.
Does it feel like awareness is a mechanism of interpretation, or is it more uh, a mechanism of simply registering what's appearing, which is different than interpreting it in one sense, isn't it?
It's it's as if it's the experience and what's being experienced. It's everything. So
Mhm.
it just dissolves into just. It's almost as if it can sense what's happening, but it is what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's inseparable from what's appearing, which is interesting because if that is the case, which I would agree with, it kind of renders the word meaningless in one sense, right? Because when we hear a word like awareness, built into all words in one sense is how they, whatever that word is referring to is distinct from what other words refer to, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
if I say iPhone, that is referring to an object that's distinct from a computer. So I have these two words, computer, iPhone.
Yeah.
If I use a word like awareness, have I pulled something out of the whole that's called awareness that I now have a word for? In the same way that, oh, I've pulled this out of the hole. This is an autonomous
Okay.
object called an iPhone, right? Um, this is what's tricky because if there's only awareness, in other words, if it's inseparable from what's appearing, then there's not two
Mm-hmm.
things. And
Mm-hmm.
what exactly is the word even referring to? You see, it's a problem with words.
But it's as if it can self-reference, though. That it can almost.
But what is it? What is self-reference? What is when we say awareness can sort of turn around and notice itself or recognize itself with common
Then it would
language?
be like you think it would be two. Yeah,
What
it'd
is
be
it?
two things. Yeah.
What is it? What is recognizing what when we
It
say
feels
awareness?
like it's just a reflection. It's a it's like a self-reflection. It's a awareness can reflect itself somehow. It can be aware of itself and as well as
I'm
being.
going to be really stubborn with you,
And I'm saying itself, and I know that's not right.
but that's okay. But but
I better put my glasses on if you're going to be very serious, so I can see
so
you.
okay, so let me throw something your way and you see if this
Yeah.
resonates for you. Here is this. Let's say this that's appearing. Something is
Mm-hmm.
appearing. Something's present, right?
Mm-hmm.
Forgetting about how we might be describing it. It's here. Awareness, if I were to use the word, which I will do on occasion, is is the knowing of what's here.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I would say. It's the knowing of what's here. It's 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 sort of like
So it's not knowing as in knowledge.
no, exactly.
It's
It's knowing
it's
as in
knowing as
like
in
here it is. The moment is being known
yeah.
as however it looks, that's being um it's like the perceiving function of reality, you could say,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So there's the perception of what's appearing, that I might call a room. And then the perceiving function is, oh, this is being perceived. And in a very real sense, all that's ever happening is perceiving. There's nothing
Hmm.
else. There's nothing else.
No,
Perceiving. That would be what I would say awareness is perceiving or knowing. They're synonyms to me. The moment is always known.
I'm just feeding into those two words.
Mhm.
It's so funny that we can even think that language can pin anything down anyway.
No. Well, we tend to
But
divide it up
somehow it
into.
does tend to have a flavor to it.
Mhm.
Certain words seem to have a flavor to them.
That's my sense, exactly. That when I feel the knowing function of reality, what I would call knowing, I'll feel it now, okay? Knowing. It's just delicious. Knowing. Okay. So now I would say a synonym for knowing, but like a different flavor, is being. But they're the same fundamentally because knowing
Yeah, it's quite
is,
fun to
that's its
feel in.
be it's
Yeah.
knowing is, right? Here it
Mm-hmm.
is. It exists, knowing.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing is being. Being, the feeling of being is known. Knowing is being. Being is knowing. They're the one and the same thing. And this is consistent with in the Vedanta tradition of Sat Chidananda, which translates as that's a description of reality. Sat is being,
Mm-hmm.
Chit is consciousness. They're two aspects of the same sort of fundamental reality, Sat and Chit, knowing, being. That's it. That's all that's here is knowing and being. Simple. And then the knowing and being can look like all this elaboration that we call, life, all the complexity of life. But fundamentally, it's knowing and being.
Can't really be anything else, can it?
But interestingly, it's like and you were kind of saying this when the you were saying awareness is inseparable from the appearing. It's like, you can feel this. So let's say you perceive, let's create a duality and say, I'm the perception is the wall of my wall over there. That's what's being perceived, the thing being
Mm-hmm.
perceived. And then there's the perceiving, the awareness, call it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I actually disaggregate those? Can I tease them apart? The perceiving and the perceived? No, they're a singular. They're
Mm.
singular. The perceiving and the perceived are one.
Yeah, because you can't see where it's not. It's
You can't separate them. Like I could
no.
say, you're an object that I'm perceiving, let's say, and then there's whatever it is it's perceiving. Let's call that awareness. It's like it's there's no I can't find the separation between the perceiving and the
Mm.
perceived. It's a seamless. I can talk about them as if they're distinct,
Yeah.
but not really. Not really.
Mm. Not when you keep really looking
Not when
and
you
going,
look.
ah,
Yeah, not when you look.
yeah,
And then you go like, oh
yeah,
shit, I can't find, where one ends and the next begins.
yeah, yeah.
And